Folks, welcome back. Rudy Alpha Investments. Collection buying, trying to keep up, collection buying, return mail because people are lost, and packing and shipping bubblies. Okay, so as you can see, the videos on collection buying has been a little ridiculous and a little behind, so I'm trying to catch up on that stuff. I know everybody always likes to see it, so let's start here. What do you guys want me to say? What do you want me to say? Seriously. I'll be honest with everybody. Okay. I'll give you a couple opinions. We'll kind of go around the board here. We'll kind of make a couple of videos. First things first here, we got a little Dominatrix booster box. Still by far one of the best modern sets ever made. It's going to age like a fine wine, kiddos. Theros collector's deck. You know, this was the most memed upon garbage fire made fun of product in a long time. The price is tanked. And actually, the supply is finally tightened, giggity. And for some reason, the prices, even on the open market, have been actually rebounding quite a bit. Even the TCG market price of a standard Theros standard booster box has actually recovered quite a bit. It's been quite fascinating to see, as we know, how the inverse effects of when a product does bad, how it doesn't get open as much, and how it kind of rebounds and stabilizes, and the product prices and the single cards reinflate. It's very fascinating. Theros is still a very big question mark. I'm not sure what to think about it. I don't barely have any of the Theros collector boxes. I may regret it. I ran a sale a couple months ago to patrons. I think $159 shipped for Theros collector boxes, and I probably should have kept some or not done that, but I don't know. I feel like that thing could age very strangely. I feel like that's a huge variable right now. Over here, again, nothing too crazy. We got the old Commander 2019 deck set. Another one right here, same thing. That should be the same Commander, right? 2019, there it is. Two Commanders. I mean, look, I'm not really looking to buy these. I don't really want any more. I have so much of it already. It's nauseating, and I'm just serving my time waiting for it to go to $200, and I feel like it's going to take years, but whatever, it'll get there. Modern Horizons, on the topic of the Modern Horizons 2 with fetch lands going to be in it, and hopefully they don't do any shenanigans where it's like the fetch lands are in it, but it's the regular set, but it's only in a special slot or something silly. Hopefully it's nothing ridiculous. Modern Horizons, I'm one of my favorite, again, amazing set. I still think it's going to be a $253 booster box. I guess in this video here, though, we'll just jump over to this particular product, or this particular collection, before we go into the letter, and we'll take the actual good cards from this particular collection here, and we'll actually do a little discussion video. Ooh, hello. Ooh, piece of candy. Ooh, piece of candy. Ooh, piece of candy. Ooh! Okay, so I'm thinking we'll probably do that with, we'll change the camera view to the old table position, but we'll go over the sealed boxes, what's in here real quick. This one didn't really have anything really, crazy old or fancy. You're looking at the old Ravnica Allegiance. Sorry, the lighting is reflecting. Hang on, let me get that lighting off of there. That's better. Sorry, I'd rather it be dimmer, fuzzier lighting. That was just annoying. It was reflecting the camera, hurting my eye. All right, so we got it. Nothing crazy as far as sealed product in this collection. It's been a really strange time over here. So Ravnica Allegiance and Guild, I still feel way undervalued for an out-of-print, great product with shocklands and everything like that. War of the Spark, we don't need to talk about. We've already talked about so much War of the Spark. We know it's going to do something. Theros, just a new standard thing. Now, we'll comment on the core sets. Let me comment on this. These, what's really funny? Core 2019 is not aging well. But Core 2020, the newer core set, is outperforming huge on supply and secondary market, the cards in the set. It's really crazy to see the difference between an older core set and a newer core set actually doing better, even though both are out of print. That's an interesting conversation. Over here, I have a huge love-hate relationship with these spell books. I hate the fact that they exist because that it reminds me every day that From the Vaults were canceled and replaced with these stupid things. But the other side of me, the little tiny voice in my head, still says that I feel like these are such a frowned upon product, and there's nothing to them. They're super cheap, man. What's a Gideon spell book? Like $17 shipped on the internet? I still feel like long-term, in the next 2, 3, 4 years, some of these things, like the Jace one. I believe the Jace spellbook, and you guys can price check me on this video if you want. As of filming this, it's like January 15, 2021. These were like $15 for the longest time on eBay. Then they finally went to 18 to 20. When I checked before, when I was doing the deal with this collection, these were like maybe 25. But I feel like they are going to continue to move up sealed eventually, but it's going to take a long time. So I wanted to lay that out there. So overall, nothing really dramatic in this particular sealed batch. But we're going to jump over to the sealed collection, the single cards, and we're going to talk about this letter. And I guess I don't want to make like a 50-minute video, so we'll talk about the next collection in the next video. So let's swap over. All right. Rudy, small collection of cards I've gathered over the last 15 years. Giggity. Been playing on and off since 05. Yeah, many people have been. Isn't that funny? Everyone's been on and off since 05. I feel like everyone, it's like magic gets in your bloodstream and you quit and you always come back. It's weird how the magic does that. Introduced at a summer camp. That's always common for teenagers and young people. Instantly hooked, however, as my friends started playing the game less and less, I found myself leaving the game behind. Eventually stumbled upon your channel, once again felt the itch of magic to draw me back. I began amassing cards from Unlimited, Revised, Arabian Urzas, and anything else I could get my hands on. Also began collecting some sealed product for purposes of investing. However, I found out this angle of magic just hasn't been for me. Absolutely love the cards, but coming at the game from an investment angle just isn't the same. With the dumpster fire 2020 being what it has been, I feel like 2021, it's time for a bit of a reset. I'm still holding on to a full set of Revised and a few other vintage pieces and some EDH decks. I can't completely part from my entire collection. I don't think I'll ever be able to leave Magic forever. The allure is just too strong. All the best, Scott. That's common, folks. We hear these type of things all the time. I still wonder. I always think about that sometimes. I'm like, how many people have been drawn to Magic because of my YouTube channel? It has got to be outrageous amounts of tens of thousands of people. That's crazy to think that, man. As far as everything else going on, like I said, Magic is weird about that. People get burnt out. You get angry at either Wizards, the company, the culture around it, the power level, the broken standard, the card quality, whatever you want to point your finger at for flavor of the month. It's interesting how it does that. And then, everybody kind of, revolts or pulls away from it. But eventually it gets you, man. I don't know what it is. It always gets you. So, folks, I want to go over this a little bit here. A nice little fun thing here. We have this Alpha Swords to Plowshare. Probably open market value about $3,000 to $5,000 right now. Just because it's white bordered, that's because it's the Alpha Rudy printing where I changed the colors. Nah, I'm kidding. Those aren't the worth. Those are just going to look at the sleeve. Well, they're all heavy played now. Make sure you thumbs down the video twice. Okay, so we're going to look at the expensive ones. We won't really look at the more of the bolt cards back here. Okay, so just for the purpose of this video to go over a few things, we'll kind of, I want to kind of address some interesting things here. So, yes, revised dual lands are probably going to go to $1,000. I'm so tired of trying to argue or negotiate the revised dual land conversation. Revised cards as a whole, this is a great example here of like BOP, the Lions and Ivory. These are all revised cards that I still feel are just, it's extremely cheap. Like seriously, if you're watching this video in 2021 in January, like why would you not want to buy like a revised, Savannah, Ivory, or Birds for like, what are these things, like $5, $10? If that, $2, $3? I bet the Ivory Tower is like $2. It's crazy, man. And I guess we'll start with that. This is actually, we have a couple little unlimited cards here. This was actually pretty cool. I really like to see this. You don't see as many unlimited cards anymore. They are getting way more rare than you realize, especially if you actually want clean condition cards that are more light play near mint versus damage. Dark Ritual's not a big deal, but Sinkhole is still by far the best land destruction card ever created in the history of Mujic Yu-Gi-Oh!ing. Again, we had a revised plateau here. Unfortunately, I don't know what happened to this particular card. This thing got just wrecked, man. I think it's a staple through the card. I think a staple went through it, or it got ripped. I don't know what happened to this card. Brutal. So that's a little scary. Two unlimited cards here. Again, you got Black Vice, which is cool and all, but man, Dark Pact. The artwork on that card. Sorry, I know the reflection. That's why I usually, many times, I like to de-sleeve before video. People always like, why is Rudy so rough on the card? I like to de-sleeve it before the video so you guys can actually appreciate the cards. I don't even care about the card. I just love the artwork, man. It just never gets old. All right, this one I knew was, when I looked at this, I said, well, people are going to want to hear a conversation around the old coffers. It'll be reprinted. I wouldn't care about it. I wouldn't put money into it. It's a great card, but It's going to get reprinted. Do not pay top dollar from Cabal coffers. I don't know if it's going to be Modern Horizons 2. I don't know if it's going to be some sort of VIP triple quadruple reach around the pants with a hot dog masters. I don't know, but it will be reprinted, or it's going to be in a secret lair. Again, Wizards has lost all credibility when it comes to modern, newer era single cards. I consider this, I know it's, it's pretty, actually, what year was this card? Jeez, man, this thing was 2002. Again, it's not reserve list. It will get reprinted, and it will get annihilated price-wise. I know, Rudy, what about the original version? The original version will hold a small premium, but these are not investable items. Wizards has made it very clear that they will nuke your financial situation if you do not know what you're doing. Until further notice, which I do, again, to defend Wizards, I do believe the mindset and attitude will shift in the coming months or years with the reprint policy and nuking all the financial value, reprinting the same cards in a core set, a jumpstart set, and a master set, like they don't know what the hell they're doing. I'm telling you, in this current point in time, I know it's rough. Until further notice, you got to be extraordinarily careful with modern era cards. I'm done with my speech. All right, bargain. It's Urza's Destiny. I don't need to say anything. It's epic. Dynamo again. All right, here's an interesting one for you folks. Lotus Veil again. Another one of these cards. Sorry, it keeps trying to focus on the faces in the background, everybody, because of the playmat. That's why I don't use this playmat too much. The camera tries to focus on the faces. It drives me crazy. Lotus Veil again. Weather-like cards. Extremely hot. The market's finally woken up and realized how cheap and underpriced Weatherlight was for the last 20 years. The market readjusted, is what it is. Port, again, great example of a card that's actually like not reserve list, but again, original version will actually hold some sort of value. But again, that's a card you would just buy because you like, not really for investment or really purposes on stuff like that. All right, so the Rector over here. Grandma over here, Grandma Destiny from Urza's, A+ card. Lotus Blossom, I don't know if Lotus Blossom is actually reserve list on this particular. I'm not sure about that particular card. I honestly don't know. But if it is reserve list, that's something you need to pay attention to. Rainbow Veil. It's Fallen Empires. I can't get behind it. Sorry, the camera's just losing its mind on this particular video. I apologize, everybody. We'll just kind of hold the cards closer. And I see this is now you guys understand why I de-sleeve, and I didn't do that this time. Tolarian Academy, great $100, $200 minimum card, still underpriced. The market will realize it. Seeds of Innocence. This gets back to what I talked to you all about with Mirage over the years. Mirage is a product that is just extremely underappreciated with tons of bizarre cards that are deemed culturally inappropriate, that are reserve lists, all these stupid things and reasons, whatever you want to call them. But I can assure you, they're going to continue to get more expensive, and they're going to continue to get more recognized as the years go forward. A lot of them are terrible cards, mechanic-wise. They don't actually play worth a crap. But the uniqueness and especially the flavor of the Mirage style with a lot of the African themes, with the artwork in Africa and the nature themes, it's amazing. They are stunningly beautiful cards. And I do believe time will continue to increase the value and appreciation for cards like that. That's, Mirage is one of my favorite sets. I've told you guys that from the longest time. It's one of my biggest investments. Absolutely love Mirage. Same thing. You got old Teferi's Isle. This thing was flipping phasing. I hated phasing. And it comes into play tapped. Oh, God. Tudor. Interesting. I get this one a lot. People say, Rudy, what about those white bordered core set tutors or original black border Mirage tutors from the late 90s? Tutors are great cards. They will be reprinted multiple times. I'm expecting a secret lair, a bunch of high school Rudy's tutors after school type thing. We're going to have that in the future. So financial value, very limited upside. Great cards. I just like them. I like to collect them because they come in collections, and I just think they're cool cards. Lotus Petal, same thing. Going to get reprinted. It's iconic and special. Again, I have very limited upside just because of the fact of the style of Wizards' future right now. All right, original Teeth. Great card. I think it's even reserve list. Pay attention. Griffin Canyon. First of all, you got to take a minute, and you just got to look at the flipping card of this thing. I'm sorry, you guys. Look at this card. Are you serious right now? Look at that art. Who did that? Stewart, dude. Bro, home skillet, corn fritter at waffle fries. That is mind-blowingly good. Like, holy smokes, the artwork on that. As far, I don't know, I'm sure it's probably reserve list or something like that, but it's a Visions card. It does not come into play tapped. Passes Rudy's first crazy fetish thing I can't stand. Colorless mana, boom, no downside. And if Griffins ever become a thing, dude, seriously, these are the type of cards. I don't know if it's reserve list, by the way, but these are the type of cards. If it's reserve list, it adds mana with no damage, doesn't come into play tap, and it has an extra ability with no downside. Those are the type of cards I like. All right, Dream Halls. $100 card. All right. The Pirates. Again, Legends. If you're even considering not buying Legend cards, then you're just a Timmy. Legends, not a high gate. But although, yeah, I do want to take a second here. This was an interesting one. I had a conversation with an individual the other day. I was asked specifically, Rudy, what do you think of these Legend cards from the uncommon slots of Legends, excluding Caracas? Everybody knows Caracas in Legends is like this iconic piece of history. What about Infamous Teleria? What about the Guild House? What about the Cathedral over here? By the way, one of the most epic pieces of art. Look at that flippin' art, bro. Yeah. Can you imagine living there? Let me tell you where I live, folks. Not there. I live on the little abandoned one over there because I can't be acknowledged. Anyways, I actually think the uncommon land cycle, most of these things, the problem is the cards suck. Look at what they do. It's bans. Green cards, banding. But the banding cards suck. But they're so iconic in beauty and in specific image and original artwork, there's actually potential for them to go up a little, but it'll be very limited. Cards like Teleria that actually, by the way, this is exactly my point. Cards like this does not come into play tapped, and you get an actual blue mana, and it has an extra ability with no downside. Now again, the ability is removing banding, which is useless. I get it. But the point is, don't underestimate it. And you don't know what the future can hold. It was like that other one. What was the other one? The Mammoth deck? Or a Griffin deck. That's what it was. The carpet type cards, home run. It's Legends. Caracas, I can't believe it's that cheap. All right, so let's jump over real quick to Alliances. The Outpost, Force of Will. I can't believe they're still as cheap as they are. Desert. Okay, so now we're into some Arabian Nights, a couple Arabian Nights cards. These are more common. Bulk Arabian Nights, doesn't matter. There's no such thing as bulk and Arabian Nights anymore, folks. Wake up. This was in the collection. It really has no value, but dude, I just love to look at it. I just think it looks really cool, and it's foil and it's old. I know it's really not worth anything. That's really going to be about it. We have a few other little things I want to go over down here. I don't want to spend too much time yapping over here, folks, but again, people ask me a lot about these, and I don't know. I'm still skeptical of the Ice Age, folks, and then that's common. But I do want to comment on some of these. You guys know how I feel Tron Lands original versions are underpriced. Damping Field's actually reserve list and pretty cheap. The Sentinel Druid, same thing. These are cards that are very special. So, again, Factory's original versions, not reserve list, but very special cards. Original Strip Mines, highly... Gate to Phyrexia? God. Man, no one's watching this late in the video anyways. One of Rudy's original specs years ago in 2016, bought 150 copies. They're like $15 a piece. Card never does anything. One day it's going to go to $100 a card, and it's just going to be a meme. That's about it for the video here, folks. We got some Alpha Beta commons in the rest of the lands. Saga. There's a lot of people who collect these weird old foils. I don't really know how to explain it, but there's a market for these foil promos and these special variants. DCI F&M promos, DCI promos, DCI. There's an interesting market for that. I'm on the fence how I feel about that. I bounce around. Of course, Reoccurring Nightmare. I can't believe it's not $1,000. And then I will kind of, before we get to just all the commons there, you got some basic commons and uncommons for Alpha Beta here. Or actually all commons, I guess. I just like them because they're Alpha Beta. And that's about it, folks. And then last but not least in the video down here, revised cards. Uncommon, again, dual lands. They're going to be 1,000. Copy artifacts. And of course, Mrs. V. It's all about Mrs. V. One of the biggest things I was excited about this collection was Mrs. V. No joke, not trying to be derogatory. And of course, there's one Wheel of Fortune down there. That's really the highlight of this collection. Most of the value in this collection was the couple sealed boxes and the dual lands, of course. But Mrs. V really takes the cake with the Wheel of Fortune. So that's the highlights of the whole collection. Everything else was essentially, bulk or only worth $1 or less type thing. But I can't believe the collectible world and where it's heading. Every time I see these price spikes, I talk about these cards, it's like they're more expensive 3 months later, 6 months later, a year later. And the future's a crazy thing, folks. Make sure you have positions and things.